Hey everyone, gonna be doing a shave today with Never Alone and some Heritage Collection gear, so stick around. So I got my lather built up in my bowl here. So like I said, I used my Heritage Collection Adoration brush. So this is a Heritage Collection reproduction handle. And I put a Smiles for Miles black and red synthetic knot in it, 26 millimeter. So knot with a lot of backbone. So this is Ariana Evans K2E formula. So I don't know if you can see the sheen on that, but it's a really nice, slick, dense soap. So let's go ahead and apply the lather and we'll talk a little bit more about the soap. For those of you who haven't seen this yet, this was a limited edition soap that was created last month in September for by Ariana Evans and the Razor Company for Suicide Prevention Month. The label was done by Razor Ray of Razor Ray Designs, and there was a lot of input from Justin, the Red Island Shaver. He was involved in the project as well. So I'm not going to go into detail on the scent notes because this was a limited edition run. They actually did 2 runs because it was so popular. But you can't get it at the moment unless you pick it up on a buy-sell trade. But the scent on it, it's supposed to be a dark barbershop. So to me, what this reminds me of is fresh laundry and leather. The closest thing I can describe it to is Chiseled Face Ghost Town Barber. If you took the Ghost Town Barber and you upped the leather and lowered the tobacco, I think this is what you'd get. I really like it. I'm not a huge fan of really overly heavy leather scents, but I do like a scent with just a little bit of leather in it. And so this one, you can definitely smell the leather, but it's muted by the other barbershop-y scents in there. I really like this soap. K2E formula is very good. Honestly, I'm not sure if I can tell a big difference between K2 and K2E, but they're both really good. So yeah, this soap was, like I said, created for Suicide Prevention Month in September. If you look at the label, which I'll pop up here, it does have the suicide prevention hotline numbers for both US and Canada on the label. And the proceeds went toward some U.S. and Canadian suicide prevention charities. So it's a really good cause, and it's a really nice soap. So the razor today is the Heritage Collection adjustable. This was a prototype razor that Neil put out a limited quantity of. I know he's planning on, he made some tweaks based on the feedback, and he's planning on doing a bigger run. I'm not sure yet when that's going to happen, but I like the prototype and I just got it back, so I'm going to go ahead and use that today. I actually did an unboxing of this Never Alone set with Brian from the Wet Shave Experience. If you guys didn't see that, he posted it on his channel. I'll go ahead and link that above. But he actually had this razor. I let him and a couple other people borrow it to try it out to see if they wanted to pick up the real thing when it came out. So I just got this back from Brian. So the reason I wanted to use the Never Alone set today was in honor and recognition of my brother. So I have a brother who has been going through a lot of stuff for a long time, and he's finally getting the help that he needs. And so I figured now was a good time to pull out this soap, since I'd never used it on camera, and kind of do a tribute shave for my brother. So for those of you who don't know, I have my own history of mental health struggles. I talked about those a little bit on the Take Care Men podcast. I'll link that. I'll try and link it up above, but if not, it'll be in the description notes if you guys want more details on that. And speaking of the Take Care Man, I wanted to give a shout out to Todd. Todd is the Take Care Man, one of the duo of the Take Care Men podcast. Todd also has the Take Care Man YouTube channel and website. Todd is my latest Patreon supporter. So I wanted to say thank you to Todd for helping me out with this channel. Appreciate that. You guys should check out Todd's channel as well. He does a lot of good stuff over there. And highly recommend the Take Care Men podcast as well, which those also get posted on Andy the Opinionated Brit's YouTube channel. So I'll link all this stuff if you're looking for it in my YouTube description. I know it's kind of hard to find that description sometimes. If you guys look at the video description under the video, there's a little arrow, a little down arrow on the right hand side. If you just click on that, you'll get to all the links that I provide. So one of the big motivators for this particular soap was Justin the Red Island Shaver, and it's actually the same motivation that Todd and Andy had for starting the Take Care Men podcast. There's a certain stigma around struggling with mental health, for men in particular. And Justin and Andy and Todd are all looking to find ways to eliminate that stigma. So like I said, my brother right now is getting some help, and he's been struggling for a long time, and took some unfortunate circumstances for him to finally seek out the help that he needs. But I understand, and Justin and Todd and everybody, they all do as well, that it's hard as a man to admit when you need help for anything. But when it comes to mental health, there's just a lot of other things wrapped up in admitting that you need help with that. You know, there's shame, there's embarrassment, there's fear. A lot of people worry about their jobs and their livelihoods and what happens to that if they admit that they're struggling with depression or anxiety or anything else. But reaching out for help and asking for help in these circumstances takes a lot of courage. And because of that, it's the brave, hard thing to do. And because of that, we as a society need to do more to applaud and praise people for asking for help and seeking out the help that they need to be able to feel better, to be able to live more productive, meaningful lives. If we start to praise that more often, it will encourage more people to actually seek out and get the help they need. And the whole point of Andy and Todd's Take Care Men podcast is they are looking to help men to understand that they're not alone in feeling these things. They believe, and I agree, that's why I was willing to go on the podcast, that the more we get people talking about it and the more open we can get people to become about their struggles, the more into the light we can bring them, the easier it will be to talk about these things, and the more quickly we'll be able to help people hopefully get past them, or at least start dealing with them in productive ways. So I know Andy and Todd actually just made an arrangement with Heritage Hill. So they're going to be doing a special Heritage Hill soap for the Take Care Men podcast sometime soon as well. So that'd be cool. Could be on the lookout for that. Yeah, so I've told my brother this already, but, just in case he ever watches my channel here and sees this video, I just wanted to let him know that I'm proud of him for admitting that he needed the help and seeking it out and being willing to accept it. And I hope that anyone else out there who's having some serious struggles can do the same. Be willing to admit it when you need the help. Don't be afraid to go ask for it, because you're not the only ones who need it. And for the rest of us, I think it's important to remember to reach out to people that we love and care about. I haven't always been good at that myself, though I've tried a little bit harder in the past year with certain people that I knew really were struggling and needed to know that somebody cared. Sometimes that can make a much bigger difference in somebody's lives than you realize. Just the simple fact that somebody was thinking about them. In the Christian community, sometimes we call that the prompting of the Holy Spirit or the prompting of God. You know, when somebody pops into your mind and you're thinking about them, sometimes that's kind of a message that let them know. Send them a quick text and say, hey, just thinking about you, wondering how you're doing. Don't just ignore it and let it pass by. Take some action on it. That's something we're talking about in our current church series, is that it's the action that matters. It's not the intention or the feeling behind it, it's the action. So don't let those urgings just fly on by you. Take action. You know, somebody pops into your head and you think maybe they popped into your head for a reason, shoot them a text, give them a phone call, or, you know, if it's a neighbor or something, just pop on by, say hi. Sometimes that's really, really important. Going to finish up today with a little bit of the Never Alone Aftershave Splash. So with the Aftershave Splash, I think you actually get a little bit more of the citrus coming through than in the soap. The soap is much more leather forward, but the splash is really nice as well. So it's a great shave today. Thank you guys for watching, and remember, if you think you need help, then go look for some, please. You can call a friend, you can go see a neighbor, you can call a family member, go look for a counselor, look for a church that has a care and recovery program. And I pray it never comes to that, but if you ever need it, there's numbers on the bottom of this label right here. Use them if you have to. Take care of yourselves, guys.